Well, students here in Georgia saw their summer vacations end weeks ago. Our elected officials in Washington, D.C., well, they just returned from their summer recess today, and they must now contend with a number of high-profile issues that have been simmering in August. Yet there's one issue in particular that's not getting much attention, but impacts businesses across the nation, but especially here in Georgia, is the looming battle between Wall Street banks and the emerging crypto and digital assets industry. So joining us now to break it down for us is our friend here in Atlanta, NYU professor and Rubicon Digital Asset CEO, Greg Johnson. Greg, it is always great to see you. And can you help us understand what is going on behind the scenes in D.C. that has these banking titans on Wall Street so up in arms?
Well, the times they are a-changing, Faith, especially in Washington, D.C. And look, you mentioned it before, big issues. This Congress is coming back. They're going to have to deal with the Epstein saga. They're going to have to deal with, the revoking of international aid funding of billions of dollars that was approved by Congress. They tend not to like that. Oh, and then there's this thing at the end of the month. They've got to approve a new budget in order for the lights to stay on. But the issue that is not getting a lot of attention, that actually is impacting things that we take for granted in everyday life, is a battle royale, a royal rumble between two of the titans now of the lobbying industry. Not a surprise, in one corner we have the banking industry. And some would argue the banking industry is the oldest profession in the world, and certainly in modern times, it is unchallenged in its power and its hold and influence over politics. And they are not happy about all of the new victories that we've been reporting on here at 11 Alive this year and last year in the Trump administration, having to do with crypto being accepted, crypto normalcy, crypto regulations. And what it is doing overnight is allowing for the banking industry to start getting concerned about a challenge to the stranglehold that they've had. In particular, this Genius Act that we've talked about has especially gotten folks in the banking world up in arms. So they are spending significant money and influence to try and get Congress to pump the brakes on all this crypto. And the reason is stablecoins, which are now law approved, regulated in the United States, are seen as a way for them to lose depositors. So they will lose people. Basic competition. The incumbent wants to keep the new lady or gent out of the business. And crypto on the other side, we've already covered this, crypto spent more money in last year's presidential and downstream elections than any other industry. And these are the two now largest and most powerful lobbies in Washington, and they are battling for the future of their businesses. On the flip side, the banks are playing hardball, Faith. They're playing hardball. And what they're saying is, all right, crypto, so you're here, but guess what? We're going to start charging fees that we never charge to other fintech companies for access to our data so we can all get along. And that may seem like a no big thing, but it's a huge deal and effectively would prohibit these crypto companies from being able to operate. That sounds like a monopoly. It sounds like high stakes tactics. And that's what we're going to expect for the remainder of this congressional session.
So, Greg, why is this looming battle of such interest to those businesses here in Georgia?
Well, in fairness, it's of interest to everybody. But as we've often talked about, we're very fortunate in Georgia to be considered one of the most important fintech, financial technology capitals of the world. And that's really not hyperbole. As a matter of fact, Mayor Dickens said a couple weeks ago at Symphony Hall at the Woodruff Arts Center, it's one of the largest gatherings in the United States for the fintech industry. Thousands of people were there. I had the good fortune to play Symphony Hall and speak myself at that particular event. But he reminded us that we are known around the world. You always have to have a catchy name. Out in California, it's Silicon Valley. In New York City, they like to refer to themselves as Silicon Alley. And of course, over here, we are, without question, the capital of transactions. And we're referred to as a payments alley, if you will. And the reason for that, Faith, is what most Georgians don't even think about, is that almost 2/3 of all credit card transactions and the ecosystem that supports them, all the little APIs and all of the technology that allows the the credit card system that we don't even think about to work touches on Georgia. So this disturbance in the force, this major battle royale in Washington, has a lot to say about the stability of business, and everybody is paying attention connected to fintech, crypto, and of course, Wall Street banks.
Greg Johnson, CEO of Rubicon Digital Assets, our crypto source and friend here in Atlanta. Thank you so much for your insight. We always learn a lot from you every single time we speak, so we appreciate it.
It's always great to join you, Faith.
Thank you, Greg.